Leadership is about guiding your team members to want to do the things that you need to have them do in your practice. I've made it my life's work to study world-class dentists and world-class practices. And I have yet to find a world-class practice where the owner dentist wasn't also an effective leader. So I think I can say that every world-class practice has an effective leader. I think I can safely say that. At least that's been my experience. And that's been my observation of having had the opportunity to work with and observe many world-class practices. So I think I can safely say that those go hand in hand. To be a world-class practice, the owner dentist has to be an effective leader. And this is an area where so many dentists feel like they're out of their element. They're, when you ask, dentists, hey, how much leadership training did you have, in your education? The answer will either be absolutely none or a little bit. And that's where it kind of gets into where I'd like to start with that. I believe that there's some confusion over the difference between leadership and management. I think in some cases, dentists will use those terms interchangeably. And I believe they're very different. That leadership is different than management. Does that make sense to you, Aaron?
Absolutely, Gary. To be honest, I was just reflecting when you were speaking, and a lot of the things I've learned about leadership from you, it doesn't just help me run my team and my company, but even in my family situations with kids and, as somebody in the community and, because leadership is about, making people want to do things as opposed to, I know you used the word, honey versus a stick or it's carrot versus a stick. So it's like, you don't want to use a stick because it doesn't work. Even with your kids, it won't work.
It certainly doesn't provide lasting. It may temporarily provide an immediate fix,
right.
But it doesn't. It's not lasting. It's not sustainable. Management is really about managing tasks. It's about providing direction related to task. Leadership is about guiding your team members to want to do the things that you need to have them do in your practice. As you said, it's about providing the motivation, the inspiration, the direction that they need. I like to think, definition of leadership is when the doctor and team are all in the same boat, rowing in the same direction towards commonly defined goals and objectives. That's what leadership does. It's when doctor and the team are all in the same boat. So we don't have some over here swimming alongside and some on the beach, and some not even showing up. They're all in the boat. But once they're in the boat, we're only starting. We now got to row in the same direction. And then we got to make sure we're rowing towards the goals and objectives that we've defined in the practice. Easier said than done. And I have a lot of empathy for dentists because they typically have not had much training, in this or much education. Some have pursued self-study. And that's probably the most logical, direction, some self-study. There's some good courses out there, but self-study is a great way to go on this. And one thing I hope this is really encouraging, Aaron. Leadership is a learned skill. It's a learned skill. Now, there might be some that, aren't some people naturally more leaders than others? Aren't they, by virtue of their DNA, aren't they perhaps more effective? And I'm going to say perhaps that's the case. But in every case, it's a learned skill. Whether you have the characteristics in your personality or have to develop those, you can learn it. You can learn to be an amazing leader.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment to us saying I subscribed. Most importantly, be sure to click the bell button, which means you'll be subscribed so you won't miss out on any future videos.